While black representation in art has gotten better over the years, I feel like there's still some issues in the black art community that people don't really talk about. So in this video, I'll be explaining those points that people don't really talk about in the black art community. But first, what is good, man? How's your day? How's your life? How's the husband? How's the wife? I'm glad you're doing all right. Racism in art and accusing people of racism, I believe, has gotten better in the fact that we're able to tell when someone is just blatantly being racist. However, there's a difference between someone who generally doesn't know and someone who is just doing it out of spite and racism. For example, whitewashing. For those who don't know what whitewashing is when you turn a person of color and just make them full-blown white. For example, I remember White Manga did a video on the MC from Clock Striker, how she turned whitewash. That is the example of racism in art generally done out of spite. However, there's a difference, like I said, between someone who does it out of spite and someone who just generally doesn't know. For someone who doesn't know, let's take the Coolleen racism example. For those who somehow don't know, there was a video by Coolleen where there was two profile shots drawn. One of them was considered correct, the other one was considered incorrect. But what made the whole drama so dramatic was the fact the one that was considered incorrect had black people proportions. I firmly believe that, and let me just make this, I'm not, a Colleen defender. I'm right down the middle. I'm not saying what she did was right, nor what I believe, people should bash her for it. I generally believe that Coolleen didn't know, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. Most people, not all, but a few majority of people probably don't know how to draw people of color. You could be a new artist. Let's say you're a new artist, right? And you want to draw a black person. But the thing is, though, you don't know how to draw a black person, right? But you're used to drawing a bunch of people one certain way. You're telling me that artist should be bashed for drawing a black person a certain way and not knowing how to color them, or not knowing how to draw them, and not knowing how to draw their proportions? No, that artist should not be bashed for doing that. Instead, people should try to educate the artist, because there's a difference, like I said, between controversial, and I feel like this will spark a lot of debates. When I'm saying washing, I'm talking about washing in general. And when I mean washing, I mean when you literally change the race of any character to any race. It doesn't matter what type of race it is. Earlier, I've mentioned whitewashing, but people don't really mention blackwashing. Now, before you get your pitchforks and try to crucify me, let me explain myself. When people are mentioning blackwashing, I've seen videos where people say blackwashing is not a thing. However, I believe it is a thing. The reason why people are not saying that blackwashing is not a thing is because for the fact that we're not using it for bad intent. We're using it for good intent. However, washing is still washing in terms of you're changing the race of a character. Let's say a character who is Japanese, right? And for evil intent, you decide to make that character black, right? That is still washing. You're changing the race of the character. But people get confused and say like, "Oh, blackwashing is the thing. Blackwashing, yada yada yada." If you're changing the race of a character and you're doing it for evil intent, it doesn't matter if it's whitewashing, blackwashing, Asian washing, Germany washing, Hispanic washing. It's still racism. And I don't like the fact that people are choosing what is considered racism, what is considered not racism in art. Listen, I'm gonna be very clear. If you're changing the race of a character into something else and you're using it for evil intent, that is still washing. The reason why people are putting out whitewashing more is the fact that they're doing it to black characters entirely. But people don't like to call out blackwashing because the fact that they're not using it for bad intent, as they're calling out for, they want more representation, even though you do the representation yourself and not wait for other people to do it. Blackwashing is a thing. Let's get that straight. Blackwashing is a thing. Whitewashing is a thing. If you're changing the race of a certain character to fit the narratives of your group, then that is a slightly racist thing. Now, is everyone doing that for bad intent? No. They want for representation, and I love that. But let's not try to pick and choose that whitewashing is only bad. Blackwashing is bad too, but people don't point it out because they're not using it for evil intent.